Hello, y'all. We're back again another Sunday to talk about businesses or charities. So this week, we have iTold Incorporated on. And as you know, I'm your girl, Aunt Nisi. We be here every week. This week I'm really not gonna get into anything because it's a little bit heavier topic. So I'm gonna just send it over to my partner Tink and let her talk about her products before we get to the guests.
All right. So I'm Tink the Hair Fairy, and as you know, I make everything fresh from almond seeds. So Nisi's favorite, ginger ale. Look, I can't even get it in a shot anymore. Okay, ginger ale. Good for edges and healthy hair growth. Then we have Lady Age, my personal favorite. Good for if you have bad dandruff, scalp issues, things of that nature. These are both really good for hair growth. So and now we pass it on to our guest. Say your name and the name of your company, and let's hear a little bit about you.
Okay, hi everybody. My name is Erica, and the name of my organization is called iTold Incorporated. And my organization is a support group for women survivors of sexual abuse. I am a survivor of sexual abuse. I was sexually abused from the age of 5 until the age of 17 by numerous of people. My mother was not protective. She was on drugs, so I lived a really rough life. So, a lot of things happened along the way. Come January this year, I started an organization. It was really heavy on my heart. The trauma came back like a force after my children had grew up, and I had to deal with it head on. And I wanted to start something that can help other women, such as myself, heal and you know be a support for other women.
So, what
Okay,
does
so what
your
we're gonna do is we're gonna start and we're gonna go period by period and um just talk about what led up to it, and we're gonna ask you more questions about that.
well, I have
Um
a question. I have a question. So, sorry. What actually do you feel like that time where you were saying it hit you like a full force after your kids grew up? Do you feel like because you're taking care of your kids, you weren't so
Absolutely.
focused on yourself? Okay.
Absolutely. That's exactly what I did. I really put my all into them, and I didn't heal properly. I didn't get the healing. I didn't get the therapy. I just really protected them, and they're
Yeah.
all grown. And so once they got grown,
But you
it's
like,
just
oh, wait.
I didn't go
Yeah.
nowhere. I'm
You're
still
like, now I
here.
got to deal with myself.
Yes, yes. So, I became a mom at 21. So that right then, in my opinion, my chances for healing or my opportunity for me to heal ended right then because I went into protection for my child. So I never even looked into therapy or anything until January of 2021. And I am 48 years old. And like I said, I was molested at the age of 5. So that's a long time of trauma, no therapy, just, yeah.
And then putting it on the back burner
okay,
and
so
then like,
Yeah.
go ahead.
And it's really heavy. It's really heavy. It was really heavy and it came out of nowhere. I'm not out of nowhere. I thought I had dealt with it, or you don't realize you have these issues until you have these issues. And so when it came up,
Say that again.
yeah, yes, ma'am. You just don't know until, it comes up though, and my family was like, you need some help. What actually, if I may share with you, what led me to the fact that I needed therapy, I seen the person that raped me. I don't like to use the word molestation because rape, it is what it is. What's the
That's what it
difference?
is.
What's the difference? Molestation and rape is
Right.
the same thing. So
Right.
I
They
was
want
aware
to
of
attach a softer word to a harsh thing, and it
yeah,
is rape.
it is the same. Yeah, it's the same thing as it is called a spade a spade. So I
Right.
seen this guy in January, face to face. This was before my healing, before I didn't even realize I needed therapy. Behind that, I had other issues, but when I saw this guy, I it took me to a different place, and I just was so upset, and I cried, and I was shaking, and I laid him out. I said some things to him. I let him know who I was and what he did to me and how he ruined my life. And I just came home and I was really shaking and I was really scared. And I just said, "Okay, Erica, it's time." And that's when I realized it was because I was angry and I was just evil, and it was just like, I don't want this no more, and I can't let these people have my power. So I
Right.
decided to go get me some help. And then in the midst of getting me some help, God put it on my heart to form something to help other women, because there's a lot of us out here. Yeah. So
So what what does your organization do to help women? What's some of the things that they do?
with some of the things, well,
But actually, before we start that, Nisi, can you put a trigger warning on
okay.
across the bottom? Go ahead. Sorry, I just want to make sure we put that
Yeah,
out there
and
because you're
absolutely, I
already
agree.
you're already touching me. So I'm like palm sweaty, but
Me
I'm listening to you,
too. Me too. Yeah, I'm nervous. I'm
and
always
we're
nervous
gonna get through
when I
this
talk about
together. We're gonna get through this together. All right. So, so what are some of the things that your organization does to help women who have been in a similar situation to you?
Well, currently, like I said, this is a baby, and I haven't even really, but my hopes is to empower, support, inspire. I want to kind of do like a support system, a free support system, because healing is costly,
Mm,
and um, therapy is high, and I really want to offer free support, free healing, if it's once a month, or just we survivors get
a
together and
survivors meeting or something,
yeah,
even.
like FUBU, for you by you, but for survivors by survivors.
Yes.
Women only.
Yes.
You know, you got to be 18 and up. This is just some of the things, and I want us to get together and do things to help heal each other, whether it's go bowling or going to the beach and meditate or whatever we do, get together
Yes.
and talk. And because it's going to be okay. And we just want to be heard, and we want to be believed, and we just want people to know that
Girl.
we going to be okay. It's not the end. I mean, it's a lot to deal with, but we're gonna be okay. And that's my hopes, is to just bring us together and to just form a support system of women, of strong women. We are resilient. We go through so much, and yet we still stand. We and had the kids, and cook the bacon, and everything in between.
And put
Yet
everybody before us. Like
everybody, and yet we done had our
everybody
innocence
before us.
robbed at the age of 5. It's a lot to deal with, but I thank God, because that is my keeper. So
So what keeps you going? What makes you say that despite everything that happened, you trust in God and what like what keeps you going?
what keeps me going? My children and my family, and the women before me who didn't have the voice that I had, such as my
Yes.
mother. She was a victim as well, and she didn't have a voice such as I. And that is what really keeps me going. The women in my generation, my family, my grandmother, the women before me, and the women after me, the women in my present, in my future, in my life right now. I have some ladies who I counsel right now, who are going through similar things, who have been through similar things, and I keep in constant contact with them to try to encourage them along the way. So that's what helps me, and that's what keeps me going, because I just realized that I was preserved for a purpose. I would rather go through it all over again before I let it touch my daughter. So I knew that, I just really believe that God knew that I was strong enough, and I would be that one to break this thing, because it didn't go past me.
Thank God.
Yeah.
So real quick, Nisi, I see that you're having like a lot of emotions. I want to hear what your thoughts are and what's going on.
It's okay.
And we're gonna get through this
I
together,
try to
baby.
come
All of
over
us.
here and meditate
It's okay.
and clear my mind before we became live, because I really didn't want to do this, because I didn't want to make the live about me. I really wanted to make it about empowering women and letting women know that behind a lot of smiles is a lot of trauma and hurt. And just listening to another woman's story is enough to get me emotional, because I thought that I dealt with a lot of things, and it kind of came back to me also. It's like I can relate to your story so much, because whenever my kids left and went to college, and it was like me and my husband was kind of disconnected, because because our life is pretty much was wrapped around them, making sure that they
Yeah.
got to
Mhm.
wherever they wanted to go and everything like that. And whenever they left, we kind of was looking at each other, and I was kind of looking at myself like, what am I gonna do with myself now? And I had to really go there and go through therapy. And tonight just made me realize that I need to go back to therapy, because there is nothing like the violation of your body
Mhm.
and your mind when
Mm-mm.
you're not old enough to even know
Mm-mm. What
what is
sex
going
is?
on.
No, you have no clue.
And once you figure out what it was, it's just some
You
heavy
know what?
stuff. And I appreciate you so much for even having the thought to have a charity like this.
Yeah.
And I want to get back to you and go back to how did you remember whenever you was 5? Because I had blocked a lot of stuff out.
Yes.
So, like, how were you able to
What triggered your
mentally go
memory?
back that far? Because I
Well,
think myself, I don't let myself go back to everything that happened.
right.
Um, so how are you able to do that and able to start your journey from the youngest age you can remember? Because I think that's what I need to do.
Okay. That's a great question. I would honestly say I still live in the same town that all my trauma happened in. So it's kind of hard for me not to remember. A lot of my family is still involved with these families. So, it's a lot of intertwined. And then like I say, I've lived here all my life, and so I've been hurt here. So a lot of my trauma is here. All of my trauma is here, I should say. Um, how did I know? We at 5. In how I remember, I must probably say that because we went to court. We went to court. The reason my organization is called iTold because I told. I was in the 3rd grade, and it's an organization called Hugs and Kisses, that's based in another part of Virginia, and they go around to the school system and talk to the young kids about bad touch and good touch. And I remember I was in the 3rd grade, and they said if been touched, raise your hand and talk to the counselors, and I did that. I can't really remember what happened between then and getting my mom involved, but I know we end up going to court, and he was found not guilty because I was so young, and they said I was coerced to say the things that I said. But yeah, so I've always had a passion. I just, like I said, once I started having the kids, it kind of took a back burner. I always had a passion, and I've always had people come to me. Just I guess our spirits just connected. Women who have never even shared with no one, they just say, "Erica, you so open about it. I feel good. Feel free with sharing my story with you." And so I think that's what keeps me. I don't know, maybe, yeah, I would say that, being the fact that I'm still here in the same town that all my trauma happened in, and I can't escape it. It's hard for me. I can ride down the street and see a tree or a car, get a certain trigger or see a person or whatever. So I just never had a chance to really escape it, I should say. So.
Well, so I feel like I had so many thoughts when you were talking. First of all, the hugs and kisses. I mean, I don't know if they still do that. I know they didn't have that at my school. Um, Whatever that is needs to happen
Well,
at
hopefully
every
that's what
school.
iTold is trying to do. Hopefully that's what that is one of the biggest things I would love to get. Because if we get to the children, we won't have a survivor. We start with
Right.
the babies, we won't have a me. So
Right.
my brother is a school teacher actually, and so I'm going to work with him and try to get into the schools and talk to a couple of people, the guidance counseling principals, and hopefully with the city of Hampton and try to get something together to put on a program because it's definitely needed. It is
Across
definitely,
America. I mean, across the
definitely
world, but across
across the
America.
world. I don't care how many organizations such as
Right.
this it is, it ain't enough. It's
Well,
not
it's
enough. We
not.
still need to keep going, keep bringing the word, keep bringing awareness, just teaching these babies about their body parts, teaching these babies about, saying no and teach,
Yeah.
standing up for themselves.
And,
So,
and, and, and telling.
and
I
telling,
have,
and
yeah.
telling.
So I have two things that I'm thinking right now. I'm thinking, number one, and I was thinking this in when you were saying something earlier. You know how, what is the statistic of every 1 in 4 women have been raped or molested, right? Something like that.
Every 1 in 6
One,
has been
one in
sexually
six.
abused by the age of 18. That's reported. That's
So, right.
reported.
So here's the thing. Oh, okay, because I'm about to say, have you ever? Because I've said this to somebody before, and and you talk to people, and every single one of those females
Oh
have
yeah,
been molested or
yeah.
raped.
I don't know how the statistics who's keeping
Yeah.
up with these things.
How do they work?
Yeah, but I actually had a conversation with a young lady today, and it's funny. She had an incident happen to her when she was younger, but she was able
Mhm.
to talk her way out of it. I promise I won't tell, and she didn't tell. So those are the things that go unnoticed, and yet that predator go on
Mhm.
again to try to victimize someone else because we as victims we don't tell because for whatever reason. But not, and I was just like, you didn't tell. She's grown now, but she was like, I didn't tell. I just told him, you let me go, I won't say nothing. And I
Yeah.
thought to myself, yeah, you're right. Who are keeping these statistics and how, so many of those that just are out here, so many unreported,
Right.
just a lot of people don't even know that that's what it is. I had a young lady tell me one time she had a guy, she was younger. He was like, go in my pocket and get some change. Now, as a 5-year-old, you don't know what that grown man telling you to
Yeah.
do, but she's like, I didn't know that's what it was until you get older and you think about it. So yeah, a lot of those go unnoticed and untalked about and just unreported. And it's time for a change. And we as women,
Trying to update those statistics
yeah,
and how they're calculated, and not just the reported, but how
yeah,
many do you know that have done it,
yeah.
like a census or something.
Yeah, and
But
I think what
my second,
organizations like iTold, if we get enough of us out there, we can, reach a lot of women. We can, do the reporting and help them report
mhm,
and make claims and get justice and things like that. So yeah, it's
agreed.
it's, it's pretty big. So I'm excited. I'm just excited to
My
have the next lady.
So my second thing
But
was,
think about
what I was
the
just started
trauma
thinking was,
behind.
well,
Go
hold on, I
ahead,
wanted
T.
to, my second thing. So my second thing was just, have you noticed that a lot of times when things happen to someone, like that family, your family still hangs out with that person or that family? What is that about in the Black community? I
Girl,
mean, I don't know
oh
about other
God,
communities, but it's heavy in the
it's
Black
heavy.
community.
And it
How
really is.
dare you?
I don't know. I mean, that's
I
a
I
call
do.
it
conversation we had again
dysfunctional
today.
silence.
So yeah, we don't. Yeah. It's just something that goes back to the don't tell what's going on in my house. Stay in my house.
Mm,
Uncle so and so. No, we didn't
tell.
do that. Yes, and we don't. If you listen, I don't care what the title is. You could be uncle, daddy, brother. No, sir, we
You could
don't
be
do that.
auntie. You could be, yeah,
I don't care what you are. Yeah.
because
So
all
yeah,
of that
I taught
happens.
my children from infancy, little. I mean, I probably was OD with it. I'm pretty sure I was OD. If you ask my family, it was like, Erica, you was just super overprotective. That's because I wasn't protected at all.
Right,
I was violated
right.
too many times to count. So I did what I knew to do. Probably didn't do it right, but I did what I knew to do, and that was just to protect what God gave me.
If you protected them, you did it right. No matter how you did it, you did it right.
Thank you, thank you. I was,
You did
yeah.
it right. So, Nisi, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just want to get that last one out. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that think about the number of women that told and wasn't believed. Like you told and nothing happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Those
I think
statistics.
that's a whole different trauma in
It
itself.
is. It's a trust. You don't trust nobody. It's a whole different ball game, and that's why I want us to get together. Because, like I said, you just want to be heard and believed. We just
Oh,
want to
yeah.
be believed and just understood that we didn't ask for this. We didn't ask for that man to get on us. We didn't ask for that. We were children. It's a whole bunch of grown women out here who giving away what you're looking for. You don't
I'm
have to
trying to tell you.
listen.
And that I don't understand. They get
I
these streets
don't
and
get
trying to
it.
throw it at you. Because I
Literally.
mean, it can't just be my generation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
Like,
I
they
don't
out
know
here
what it
throwing it
is.
at you.
We got to get the word out. And I think if we just can, I don't know if we will ever be able to stop it or end it, but if we continue to put the word out, get these babies some literature to take home, so bruh man see it sitting on the table, say, oh, she know what she talking about. Oh, I can't touch
Mm.
her, because she know what a vagina is. She know what
You
breast
know what?
is.
You
You
know what
have
it
to
needs to
teach your
be?
children these body parts, because with kitty cat and whatever, those things help you in the event, God forbid, you have to go to court, which is the reason I wasn't believed, because I didn't know my proper body parts, and we needed to make these babies aware of their body parts so they'll know what to be touched and who to touch what.
I worked with kids when I was younger, and it's crazy because you can always tell which kids like something is happening to,
Yeah,
because they will tend to do things to other kids, like take them in the corner,
yeah,
or say things that you're like, wait a minute, even if you
yeah,
saw a movie or five,
yeah,
you still wouldn't be doing that.
yeah. That
you
is
know
true.
like lay under this blanket with me and you about 4 or 5 years old. It just doesn't happen, you know what I mean?
It's just
But
sad. It's just sad. It's no reason. It's just pitiful. That disturbs me that they're just, over, just know too much at too young. No way in the world should a 5-year old have to sit in court and explain who did
mm-mm,
what to them. I mean, you should be talking
no.
about my Barbie doll or my truck. It's just unnecessary, and it's just really
And
time
then
for it.
not believed. That's
And then
crazy.
I believed. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
My mother
crazy.
told me in my face, I don't believe you. So I know what you're talking about, Aunt Nisi. I've been there, and yeah, to my face, I don't believe you. So it's
And
a
it's
lot of it
like I
out
just
here.
scream like you didn't protect me.
That's
I
right.
was a child. You didn't
That's right.
protect me.
That's right.
I'm
That's
the
right.
one.
That's right. It was
Say
your
it.
job as a parent. It was your job to protect, and that's just it. And no ifs, ands, buts about it. And we as a parent, you make choices. You make choices, and
You make choices indeed.
yes, you make choices, and sometimes you
You know
you
what
make
I
choices
learned
you
though?
want to make.
You know what I also learned, besides the person who I feel like is traumatized, or something, or the person who was raped, who then acts out at a young age and probably, introduces other people to that type of thing. What I also learned is sometimes something that didn't happen in your case, but sometimes that parent will grow up and decide, you know what, we're just gonna act like this isn't happening. We just gonna act like this isn't happening. For me personally, like when I was young, I remember things like, I would call them like after the facts, right? And it's your fault. So my parents like to throw a lot of parties and things, or they had lots of friends. We would go out, we might go to basketball games, something like that. I'm young, and some guy will be like, oh, come over here, come sit on my lap. I'll go sit on his lap or something like that. But then nothing is said. And then after we leave, I'm getting my ass whooped. Don't you sit on
Mm-hmm.
that man's lap, da, da, da,
Mm-hmm.
because you have been
Mm-hmm.
traumatized. But I wasn't told that you were traumatized, but now you're you're acting like I'm pursuing this
Yes.
situation when this grown man said it to me and I'm just like 5 years old.
Instead
Instead
of
of,
whooping your butt, they should have been whooping his butt.
right, say
And
something to him.
you accused of being a fast, hot little
Right,
girl.
right. And
Yeah,
I'm
we
like,
going
have no idea what's going on. I'm
exactly.
fine.
Exactly.
If my parents' friend said, come sit on my lap, I'm like, okay. They're harmless to you because they're they're your parents' friends, they're your family friends, they're your uncles, they're your aunts. You're like, you know,
Yep.
but
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
some
And for
people I
some
feel like,
reason, everybody always know the ones that they say, where them kids at?
mm,
And they shouldn't have been there anyway.
mm,
Right. Right.
mm.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
crazy.
So I don't know if there's I know that we've kind of gotten on off of the business a little bit, but I think that in itself, this is just a topic that has to be addressed, right? This is a thing that needs to be talked about. So I know we're going to get off of topic a little bit, but getting back on topic, back onto your business though. So do you plan on focusing outside of Hampton? I know you talked about the different schools and things like that, but do you plan on um, like getting things established here and then building maybe like branches, or what are your thoughts moving
My
forward as
thoughts
to
is
how
to
you'll
be
get to it?
worldwide, girl. I'm trying to go worldwide.
Yes. Yeah.
This thing needs to go around
Yes,
the world.
babe.
Like I say, I don't care how many organization it is of this such, it still needs to be heard. I just
Yes,
wanted
yes, yes.
to wherever it goes is where it needs to go. So yeah, we're gonna continue to see what God want to do with it and continue to pray and just and take it one day at a time. And like I say, it's so sensitive. It's not like a thing you could just a lot of people ain't gonna flock to you. I get a lot of inboxes. And a lot of people don't like to talk about this out front.
Of course, yeah.
I wear the blue ribbons, and I got some people to say I'm a supporter, I'm a victim, but I don't want nobody to know. So I'm
Mhm.
that person that I can do that for them, and it's okay. In due time,
And
everybody will feel this. Huh?
I appreciated meeting you, and I loved my blue ribbon. I thought I didn't know that the blue ribbon. Nisi, did you know that? I did not know the blue ribbons. Okay, so explain to everybody the blue ribbon and the meaning behind it.
The meaning behind the
What's it
blue
for?
ribbon. The blue ribbon is an indication, less like the pink breast cancer. April is childhood sex abuse month. April,
What
and
month
in
is it?
April.
Okay.
April. And this Blue Ribbon organization ministry was started by a lady in Virginia. Actually, I think she lived in Virginia Beach. And her grandson was beaten really bad. He was abused really bad by his parents, and he ended up passing away. And she tied a blue ribbon on her antenna, signify her grandson or her grandchildren. And that's how it came about. I think it was like 1989, I believe. Yeah, don't quote me, but because I don't have my notes in front of me, but I'm just trying to remember off the top of my head. But yeah, we wear the blue ribbon to, for, support. I have a lot of people who are supporters and a lot of people who are victims who wear it just the same. So yeah, we're here. And yeah.
I love the idea of the blue ribbon, and I think I never knew about it, and I think it's amazing.
No, thank you.
Oh Lord, this is taking a lot out of me.
No, I'm sorry. I'm
No,
sorry.
it's not you. It's just it's so much.
Yeah.
There's so much thought behind. Okay, let's go to the one of the things that you had mentioned to me. It's like I have so many thoughts. I want to get so many questions out. I have so many things I want to say. Like so many things I think people should know. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's why I'm like, oh, this is a lot because it's so important.
We can come back for
Um,
part two.
I'm trying to tell you, we got to have a part two.
Part
One of the
two.
things that you mentioned to me was mental health, and what that plays in all of this, and things that you thought that you wanted to do about mental health. So, can you speak to that?
Yeah, mental health. Wow. You can't go through what we went through and not have some sort of mental health issue. And that's just
Yeah.
real talk. Yeah,
And let's expand on that actually, because some people look at that word like a negative connotation, like as if, oh, if you have a mental health issue, something is wrong with you. And that's not what you're saying.
No, that's not what I'm saying. And if you do have a mental health issue, just go get some help. It's okay. And no, me for me, I just didn't want to continue to. I never know I needed help. I thought I had it. My personality. A lot of people don't know my story. My close friends do. Not that I don't share it, but they don't know the depth. They don't know everything. And when they find out, they're like, oh my God. But mental health for me, I didn't realize that I had an issue. I knew I was kind of crazy from just regular life, but then people say, go get some help or go get some medicine. I'm like, no. Like you say, Black people, we don't do that. We figure it
Right.
out. But keep going through and just everybody telling you the same thing. Like, you're doing a little stressing out and you being a little extra or whatever the case may be. So I took heed and I went to find me a therapist, and it has done wonders for me. And I advocate for my community, the Black community, to go talk to somebody. Go talk to somebody if you need to. And it
Towards
ain't
the
always got
end
to
of
be your best friend. It ain't got to be your girlfriend. Get somebody with some credentials who can help you. So
towards the end of my career as an RN,
I thought
and
Niecy was going to say something.
up
So,
until I retired, I was a mental health nurse at the end of that.
okay.
And it was therapeutic for me to have a client that would confide in me. And
Mm-hmm.
we're not supposed to say what's going on, what have went on with our own personal lives, but it instantly made a connection with the patient, and the patient trusted you more because you were
Right.
willing to tell what happened to you. So
Yes.
then they were able to get more things out. I always tell people that dysfunctional silence in the Black community kills a lot of us. Like, that stuff gets down in you, it
Mm-hmm.
weighs you down mentally, but not only mentally, physically. I mean, they're even thinking that cancer, high blood pressure, down to all types of other disorders is caused by excessive stress, worry, thought. You know what I mean? So
Unresolved
I feel
trauma.
like that in itself, letting people know it's okay. Stop stigmatizing people because they want to speak out. Like, I know for
I know
me
what you
myself,
mean.
it came up with me this week because of um the victim going on the reel, and it just made me angry because I feel like a whole lot of people felt like she was clout chasing was the
I don't
word
know
that
what
I
you're
saw
talking
the
about.
most. But what
What are you talking about?
everybody in the comments was saying that she was clout chasing, but they failed to realize this man went to jail
Niecy,
for
what are
doing
you
what he
talking about?
did. Um, I don't want to say it. It's gonna get a
Niecy.
whole lot of her fans over here. So that's why
Well,
I'm not
no,
saying
I'm
her
just,
name.
oh, because you're giving us the story, but I have no idea. I didn't watch the real. I mean, if
Okay.
she was on the show, you could say her name on the show and what she said on the
Yeah,
show.
it was a victim. His wife is a well-known rapper. His name is Kenneth Petty.
Is that his rap name?
No, that's his name.
Well, what is his rap name? What's going on?
It's Nicki Minaj's husband.
Oh,
Oh,
Petty.
okay.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
well, if she was on the show, you could say that.
She wasn't on the show. That's why I didn't want to say her name.
No.
The
Oh, he
victim
said it.
was.
Oh, the
Oh,
victim
the victim
was.
of her husband. Okay, I thought she. Oh, see, that's why I was lost. Okay, so the victim of the. I'm sorry, the alleged victim of her husband
It's not alleged
was
because he
on.
went to jail for it.
Oh, well, then
So
yeah,
it's
then
not
the
alleged.
victim. Okay, so
Um,
then the victim was on the real. And what happened? You said
And
people got
people
upset or
really
something?
came after her for talking about it.
History of women right there. Like that's what happened.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's sad that you have to, I don't want to say rise, but you have to be strong because these things are going to happen. Have you ever seen that movie, The Accused?
Who?
It was like in the 80s or something with I forget her name, but anyways, the where she was raped at a bar, like inside a bar by like multiple men, and it was a true story.
I'm gonna have to look at that.
Oh my gosh! So I saw that when I was like 7 or something.
I don't remember
So I
that.
was 7.
I
Yeah, it
probably
was a
didn't
true
watch it
story.
just because.
Well, it was traumatic. Trust
Yeah,
me.
I'm pretty
So
sure.
she was, and it was a true story of a lady who went to a bar to just go hang out or whatever, and yeah, like I want to say I don't know how many of the men actually raped her in this bar, like in the bar on top of a ping pong, what do you call it? Pool
Pool
bar. What?
table. Pool table.
No, it was like ding, ding, ding. I forget what it is.
The
Little paddles shoot the
foosball.
little silver ball. Huh?
The
What
The
is
foosball.
it?
foosball.
Yeah, whatever it is. Anywho, so on top of the machine, um, they raped her, like several of them, and she's asking for help. And then I think there was like a waitress who came in and left, and some men who were still drinking across the way at the bar while she was getting raped. But anyways, and in that situation with all these people, and she ran out, and somebody eventually helped her. Um, the whole town turned against her, the whole town, and was like, all these men publicly raped her, and they still turned on her and still made her life just like the worst. All
That's
because she
right.
said something like, how dare you say something, just deal with it and move on. Like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. I looked at a
So yeah, I
documentary
mean, I
on
feel like that
Netflix
happens
the
a
other
lot.
day. It does happen a lot. It's just it's crazy what we go through as
It's
women.
just
It's
the
just so
weirdest thing to
crazy.
me.
It's crazy. It's crazy. But we band together.
Like
We're
you
stronger
violated
in
all of
numbers.
me, but I'm the one that's supposed to get over it and move on.
Right. Pick up the pieces. That's
Yeah.
right. Consciously
Well,
make it. Yeah, that's
okay.
true, Miss Nisi. That is true. I understand 100%.
So,
It's
so
a
one thing that you said, so one thing you said, Nisi, which I just want you to explain because everybody doesn't know. I know you use this term a lot, but I think it's a good term and people should know. You had said your term, what is it, dysfunctional silence. Can you explain that term? Because I like the way you use it, and I think people need to know about it.
I think it could be used for a lot in the Black family, but it's pretty much like you were saying. What happened in my house stays in my house. You don't tell nobody your business. Um,
Dysfunctional silence.
you physically having to be around the person that violated you because the whole family refuses to say anything to this person,
And
or
you're expected to
or
be quiet or
or
you're
people.
crazy.
Right. Or you made it up, or um this person couldn't
it's
possibly,
a sick
because
man.
this person
Yeah,
is
it's a
still
sick
with the person. So I know that they couldn't
man.
have done that to you. But it's just a lot of that in the Black community.
It is.
And
It
it
definitely
affects
is.
our mental health so bad. And then you don't want to go get any mental health treatment because that's another stigma in the Black community,
Yeah.
that you ain't supposed to
Yeah,
have to go seek help.
your family make
So
you feel bad for
dysfunctional
you to seek help or
silence
somebody. Yeah.
Dysfunctional silence in the Black community is a
Yeah.
killer.
It is.
It
It's a
kills
killer.
us.
And one thing about trauma, if you don't resolve it, in my case, it sprinkles through your life. You see it in every relationship, from whatever side effect, from not trusting to whatever the case may be that comes with that. I had it in every relationship I've been in. I've been married a couple of times. I'm in my second marriage now, and my first marriage was just traumatized. I was just wide open, and it's just get the help, and that's why I want to start something. If we can't afford a therapist, we can at least get together and share we are connected,
Mhm.
whether we want it to be or not. We are connected by this
Mhm.
thing called sex abuse. We're sisters, and we are here to help each other. Because if we talk to each other, it's like the same thing. Like I've talked to so many
Mhm.
women where our abuse is almost the same. It's just that the predator is different. I mean, it's almost
Mhm.
mirror, So it's just like we just need to get together and try to stump this thing. Bring awareness, teach our babies, put it in the
I know
school.
for me, I know for me, the way that I dealt with it
Okay.
was that I took sex and used it because I knew it was a way that I could get men to do me what I wanted them to do.
Right. Right.
So it's like I said, okay, um, I got this body at 14 that everybody seems to want. So I'm gonna take sex. I'm gonna become good at it,
Right.
and I'm gonna use it as a weapon
Yeah.
to manipulate men into getting what I want. And like I said, most people see it as, oh, she fast, she out there
Hmm.
and stuff like that. Whenever they don't know that you're trying to cope the best
That's
way that
right.
you could cope.
You're in survival mode.
And I mean, you feel a sense of power, like, oh, okay, like so if I just go ahead and offer it to him, okay, so you gonna pay my bills,
Right.
and a lot of
Right.
girls do that,
Yeah. And that
and
come
it's
from,
because
and that's
they're
where it
getting
comes from.
violated.
Yes, and that's exactly where it started from. You learn early how to use your body, which you don't even have no business using at the age, but you learn early. Well, this thing got power. Well, this what they want. Oh, and if I give it to them, they won't take it. That becomes your mentality. So, you could, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, you
like
become
I'm in charge. I'm the one who's giving it to you. Yeah.
That's right. So you do feel some sense of power because you're right. You won't violate me again. I'm in control. And yeah, it's a whirlwind of emotions. And like you said, your mental health is definitely high on the list. We take care of everything else, but we forget our mental. And
I
Mhm.
think that's
yeah,
I think that's why we gotta,
And,
like you said, go
and
into
I
the
can
schools,
really
because
correlate with
somebody like
you.
at Lucy's age, I feel like they need to hear the mental health part of it so that they don't turn around and say, you know what, I'm in control. I say control it in a different way, maybe.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. Yeah, I think Nisi and I, we went through that mental state because that's what we knew. You know what I'm saying? I
Mhm.
think the generation coming up now, we are teaching them different. We were taught to survive. We were taught literally survival skills at 5 and 6 years old, and you just got to get it how you get it, and so to speak. So with these children today, they are raised, in my opinion, on love, not survival. So they're different. They are protected. They know your mother taught you don't have sex. That's all she taught you about sex. Don't have sex.
Mhm.
I teach my children. They know everything that I've been through. I detail. They know who it is because they need to know. You need to know. First
I
of all, you
think
need to
I
know
told
when
my
mama start
kids from
acting
an early
crazy.
age.
Yeah, yeah, early, like early because
My
yeah,
nieces and nephews, I'd be like, look, this is your princess. And nobody has the key to your princess but you. Or
that's
your little or I call it little turtle. Nobody
you
has
know what
access to
though?
that without your permission.
You know what though? That goes back, I hate to say it, but that goes back to kind of what she was saying, which is we gotta start telling people what it is. No, nobody can touch your vagina. We
right,
gotta, nobody, not no
right.
keys. Nobody can touch your vagina.
Oh, of
You
Yeah,
course,
should not be touching
as
anyone's
they get
penis at
older,
five. No, I don't
no,
believe
that's
that because
because
it can
as
happen
they
at
get a
structure.
little
any
bit
age.
older, the term switch. But
No, no,
whenever
I
they
you
know.
start
need.
talking,
In my
I
opinion,
be
they
like,
need to know
look,
the medical terminology because that's what it is. They need to know vagina, penis, scrotum's, breast.
I
That's what
agree.
it is. You need to know
So
that,
for
and
me,
at
I
home
said
is
that to
okay
my
to use
kids.
kid names. but they need to learn the terminology. So
Mm-hmm.
that in the event, and even the street slang,
Now I am
because in the
guilty of
street,
that. I
they're
did
not
give
gonna
it
ask you for no vagina.
purse
In the
until they
street,
were
they're gonna
around
say, "Can I have
five-ish.
some?" So they just need education starts at home. Sex education starts at home. Prevention starts at home. We teach our babies, so therefore, when they get in the street, just because a man show him her teeth, his teeth, she ain't, she's already secure at home. She's beautiful. I've
Right.
already built my baby up. You're beautiful. So when the man in the
That's
street says,
right.
you already know. It
You be
starts
like,
at home, and that's my belief. And yeah, teach their baby from the time they can talk, vagina, penis, because it
mm-hmm.
just makes more sense, and it's healthier. So when they get to
Well,
school, they
and
know their body parts. Yeah.
and like you said, you went to court and didn't know the name of your body
Yes.
parts, and that hurt your case.
It
So
hurt my
that's why
case.
I'm looking at it now like,
Yes.
no,
Yes.
you need that. As soon as they can talk and walk, they
Yes.
should know like vagina, that's a penis. I mean, I get that people don't necessarily want to say they feel like children are too young, but clearly there's
Yeah.
not an age that's too young.
No, it's not. It's
There's
not.
not an age that's too young for a man to rape you, apparently.
I mean,
so
yeah,
that, so
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And that's just, that's
Yeah,
my
I
there's
do
opinion.
no
believe
limit.
that. I do believe by the time they go to school that they should know what their body parts are. They should already know that.
Yeah.
But I am one of those people that's a little country, and I did teach Princess and Turtle. And as they got a little bit older, then I started talking to them about,
Yeah.
sexually transmitted diseases, not only protecting yourself physically, coming to me if anybody touch you, but also whenever you decide to give yourself to somebody for real,
Right.
there is a lot of emotional that go with
Yes.
that. You
Yes. I
know what
teach
I'm
my children the
saying?
same
And I
thing.
think that we do not do a good enough job in explaining that, especially to our young girls, but I'm not gonna discount it with our boys too, because they go through a lot of trauma too.
That's
And it's
right.
I
like
got boys.
they're even more likely not to tell,
That's right.
because there are a lot
Listen,
of women predators out there also.
That's right.
look, with my boys, and just because of, I mean, I'm hesitant to say this, but so I grew up with a family of, my mom has six sisters, or there are six of them, and then my dad had his sister and whatever, and all of them were raped. All of them. Okay. So my aunt actually had her first baby at 11 by my grandmother's boyfriend. So they were so protective of me. It was ridiculous. But sometimes you can protect somebody
Too
or
much.
think you're protecting them. No, you could think you're protecting them from this side, but there's other sides too.
That's right. That's
We're
right.
not
Okay.
the only people that
Okay.
attack you.
Okay.
Women do too, you
Exactly.
know? Um, and adults aren't the only ones that attack you. Kids do too.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
there's lots of things, you know what I mean? But
Mhm,
but all is the beast that you've seen, I guess, you know what I'm saying? So, but extremely
mhm.
protective. Girl, I wasn't even allowed to go outside after dark until after I was pregnant. And then they was like, fuck it.
Right. Go ahead now. Shoot. Go ahead. Ain't
See
no
that
need to
that
stop
but but for me, I had boys, and because of the way that I was kind of raised, I was very protective of them. I let them go places. I was different in that way. But what I didn't do, for example, is I don't let people come to my house,
right.
because I would tell people, I don't care who you
I
are,
didn't
and
let
I
my
don't care how.
kids go and stay with nobody.
Yeah, I don't care what anybody thinks. I look at it like this: this is my kids' safe space. We're good in here. You know what I'm saying? We talk, we kiki, we laugh, or whatever. You want to go hang out, you can do that,
Yeah.
whatever. But I'm not going to be bringing a stranger that's
Yeah.
my friend that don't know my kid in my house for anything.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I was like, okay, one or two people, if I get to know you, you know what I'm saying? Maybe, right? Let
Okay.
me tell you. I had this girl one time, and maybe she was just over friendly. I don't give a damn though. I went to the bathroom. I come out the bathroom. I'm looking, and she's in my son's room, sitting on his bed. Like,
What?
it's time for you to go. Why would you be in my child's room? I don't even. That's not your friend. Like, what are you? And that
Girl.
was the last person I ever had at my house. That
Yeah,
was the last person.
yeah,
I was
they
in the
do.
bathroom for like what, like 30 seconds, a minute, or something like that. Just the sheer fact that her sitting on my son, sitting on his bed, not standing in his room, sitting on his bed. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah,
it's just me. I was
that's creepy. That's creepy. That's crazy.
Mm,
That's creepy. But
mm-mm.
so I mean,
And I'm gonna
and
go
what
back
I
to
also
something else that you said.
hmm,
Something else that you said. I think that what I did well was that I protected my kids from the kind of evil that I knew, but
oh
I
yeah.
didn't think about people her own age. You get what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Hmm.
And since my baby has been older, she has confided in me in some stuff that I thought I protected her from. And I think that's why it re-triggered what happened to me,
Hmm.
because I felt like I was did such a good job in protecting her from this big evil that I knew that I didn't even keep in account people her own age.
Right.
You know what I'm
That
saying?
anybody could do this.
And with
Anybody could
that,
do this. It's not
Yeah.
just one type of person.
right, right, anybody,
Yeah,
right.
but we can't
You
catch
know,
it
you
all.
always teach them
We
about
try.
the
We can't
boogeyman
catch it
and,
Yeah,
all.
you
We try.
right.
know,
It's just as victims ourselves. That's like one of the worst like nightmares that you
Feeling.
want to happen.
Yeah.
Like something happens to your child. And I can remember, and I was sharing this story today with my cousin when my daughter is 26, my oldest child. And when I was pregnant with her, which was a surprise, but when they told me I was having a girl, I literally, this is a true story, got on my knees and asked God to take it because I had been traumatized and victimized so much. I did not want a girl child to go through what I went through. I thought it happened to everybody. I had a neighbor down the street, they had 5 girls, and I asked her, I said, "Do your daddy touch you?" She's like, "No." And she was like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like, "Oh, because it was such a
girl,
reality in my
I
life
used to
that I
ask
thought it was
everybody.
everywhere. Yeah, it was everywhere. And I thought it was, yeah. So when I had my daughter, I just was like, oh God, I'm having a girl. I just didn't know how I was going to protect her. I just knew that, if I didn't have a miscarriage that I had prayed for, then I was going to have to just step up my game and just make sure nothing or nobody was going to hurt her. And
You
that was my
know,
promise.
to me, one of the things that, as somebody, like I said, whose family has experienced nothing but, right?
Yeah.
Nothing but this. As somebody who's the generation that follows it, right? Not, I would say this: communication is key, because there are things that happen, or you think you're stopping something, but then people don't have any clue, like myself, like I don't have any clue as to what's going on. Why are you mad? Like, what's going on? Why do I gotta stay in the house all the time, but my brother get to stay out till 2 o'clock in the
Right,
morning?
right. That's
Like, that's
understandable.
not fair. Now I'm looking
Mhm.
at you like, oh, that's just not fair. So my thing was, as I
Yeah.
grew up, is like, I didn't want to
I
be,
mean, that's
and
how I was
like, I
too.
love being female,
I
but I
was
mean, like,
overprotective
I
over
was,
that girl.
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. What were you
No,
saying,
I was
Nisi?
just saying I was like that too. Like with my daughter, it was like I ain't let her go nowhere. Matter of fact, she didn't spend the night with anybody until she was 15. And the only reason why I let her go spend the night over there was because I was secretly outside stalking
Mm,
her
mm.
and and stayed outside
Right.
all
I
night
know
just
that's
in case
right.
she
High five.
called me and said she wanted
High
to come
five.
home.
Listen, if we don't protect, who gonna protect them? We have to
Lord
protect.
Jesus.
We have to do what we have to do, because God
You
knows. I
know,
wish somebody had did that for me. You know what I mean. So
you know
I
what?
appreciate that.
I
Like,
was working in this
girl, I was
environment.
sitting out there in that car, and I was like, no, I wonder if they look out the window and see I'm still out here. But it's a mm.
I
Woo!
get it. I get
No.
it.
I don't
I
see how
get
these
it.
people be doing it, letting their kids go over to somebody's house and they 5 years old, spending the night and stuff. I'm like, spend the night.
And they can barely talk. You
Have
can
you
spend
met?
the night.
As a matter of fact, my daughter used to have sleepovers. And one time, okay, it was mandatory. I must meet the parents. I must have the parent phone number. Um, I need to know allergies, all kind of information just because I was a nurse also. I'm like,
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
protect your kids while they're in my
Yeah.
care.
Right.
One lady dropped her daughter off that I didn't know she was coming. Dropped her off out there beside the road, child. And she had pulled out when she was walking up the darn driveway. And I said,
Okay.
little girl, mm-mm. Before you
Wait.
come in my house, we gotta call your mama. And I need to know what's up. Cause I don't know you, little girl.
That's right. That's right.
Like you could be a danger to my son in here. You know what I'm saying? I don't know you like that. So we had
Right.
to call the mama back. And me and the mama had to sit there and talk for a little while before I even let her in the house. Like, you trying to set me up? You trying to set my husband up?
Yep.
Like,
You can't be too sure. You can't be too safe. You can't be
mm-mm.
too safe. And like you said, Tink, your house is your kid's safe space. I wasn't able to walk around my house in, a sports bra and shorts. I had to literally be dressed because if not, when I started having my children, you can walk around. This is your home. My
Mm-hmm.
daughter walks around in the sports bra and shorts. This is your home. You're supposed to feel comfortable.
Yes,
So
safe space.
absolutely, absolutely. And if
Because
we
look,
don't protect
the only
And
safe space you
see,
have.
that's
the
another
only
thing
safe space you have,
with my daughter.
yes,
My daughter, she felt real comfortable walking around here in her underwear and bra, and like she
Yeah.
lived with her stepfather. Now I'm not even gonna lie. Part of me will watch him,
yep,
and he
yep,
never gave me that
yep.
vibe.
I'm
But
with you,
because in the
sister.
back
I'm
of my
with you.
mind,
I do it all the
I
time.
knew what could happen. I would
Yep.
be sitting there like if he turned his eyes and look at her wrong one time, I swear to God, I'm gonna kill him.
But we have to find some solace in the fact that we protected them to the point that they know better. They are so protected and secure that they are know we wasn't. So they're
Yeah.
not gonna let
And,
nothing
and
happen.
she
That's
was
the great
very
thing about
secure.
it.
Like I said, she had no problem walking
Right.
around here in her bra and panties.
Yes, and my daughter does the same thing. Like you
But
said, she's 26.
but
She don't wear a bra outside in the street. I say, oh my
I
God.
was like, let them look.
Yeah.
One wrong
I
look, I
see.
swear to
I've been there. Oh
God,
God, I've been there.
you gonna go through your
I've been
paper.
there. Yes,
I didn't
whole
want to
head
be
cut off.
over crazy with her, you know what I'm saying? By saying,
Yeah,
girl, like, at least make sure you got your shorts on, stuff like that. No, it's her house. She's supposed to be comfortable, and come out in the
right.
bathroom and run to a room with a bra and panties on. Like, that's no problem. Because personally, I walked out around the house naked.
Yeah.
So she
Well,
felt like
so
at least I got
you
my
mentioned
bra and
like the
panties on.
sleepovers.
So yeah,
Yes.
So
it's crazy what goes through your mind and what you think
Yeah.
of, and people think that you're so weird by
Yeah. But they
even
don't know.
thinking of the thought, but it's a whole lot behind it. Like
Yeah.
it won't like I'm just distrusting my husband because I wouldn't have married him if I didn't trust him around my kids. But I'm
You
not gonna
still
lie, in the back of my
right.
mind, I would be just like
Absolutely.
these.
Right. Because men hurt us, so it's hard for us to trust men, in my opinion. For me, it takes a lot for me.
It was for
It
me,
takes
me
a
too.
lot to trust you. And I don't know if I necessarily trust men all the way. And I will always say I'm not a big fan of men, and I'm a married woman. But I love my man and I love my sons and the men in my family. But I don't
Mhm.
mess with them, because you can't tell me to trust somebody. These men hurt me. These men took my innocence away from me. You
Mhm.
violated my body, but so I want a woman therapist, I want a woman gynecologist, I want a woman dentist, I want a woman everything. Because I'm just over, you know, just give me
Nothing but the
everything,
peanut.
Mhm.
so but
Yes,
yeah,
You
ma'am.
have that right. You have
yes,
that right.
yes, I don't, yeah,
You know.
so
Cause
honey,
there's
So look,
some molester
well,
gynecologists out there.
yeah, child.
so I wanted to speak real quick to the sleepover thing because I knew somebody who, similar to you, like I had people who just confide in me. I don't know why people just tell me stuff. I don't know why. So I'm at work one day, and the 15-second spiel is this girl had been being abused by her father, but because she was being abused by her father, right? When she had sleepovers, she was not okay. This moment when she was talking to me, she was like traumatized by the fact that she felt like she was okay with letting it be them tonight and not her,
Mhm.
if that
Mhm.
makes sense. She was traumatized
Mhm.
because she would say, she's like, I didn't want it to happen, but I also didn't want it to happen to me tonight. And tonight's a night
That's
where
too much.
it could be
We should
them.
never
And she
have to.
goes, and she would
We should
have people
never
come
have to go
over,
through that
and
shit. That's too
so then
much.
it was to a point where she was like, I don't have any friends. She said it was a point where she didn't have any friends because people would, they wouldn't come over because he would do things to them, like started off with like bathing them or something like that. But it was always something, that they did to them. But yeah, so
Bathing.
that that to me started me thinking about you can meet the parent all day long, and there,
My
you know
niece
what I'm
say
saying?
bathing.
Yeah, we can meet the parent, we
Like
can do all
the
types of stuff, but you
the
Right.
still don't
male
know who
men in
that
my
person
family
is.
don't bathe no girls.
No.
Right,
And
well, that's
I
what I'm
was a
saying.
big
But
believer in I can know your mama, your daddy, but I don't know who your mama, daddy company is. I don't know who else coming over
that's
there
true
doing that
too.
night, and that's why I don't know your uncle
Mhm.
that's gonna have. I'm told I ain't never let my kids spend the night, and I didn't let children spend the night over my house because kids
Mine's
lie,
sitting here.
and I get it.
You
Hurt kids hurt kids, and
hurt.
so it's just to keep the stuff down. We stay at our house, and they stay at their house, and you'll get
Hmm.
it.
Safe
You'll
space right
understand
here.
as you get older. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
But
yeah.
it's so many things that can happen, even if you speak to the parents, like me personally, like I said, people tell me I mean, strangers
Girl.
tell
Oh
me
yeah.
like things, you know what I'm saying? I mean, that's how we met, right? But like
Yeah.
people tell me things. And one of the things is like, you wouldn't even believe some of the stuff that people just
Oh
tell
yeah.
me. But from knowing these different things, I'm like, yeah, no.
Yeah. Right.
No, I don't trust nobody because you can think you know somebody literally because of the
Mhm.
type of person I am. Somebody will tell me something weird. Like, I mean, I remember these people down the street. This lady, I thought, oh, she's so nice, and she goes to church, and so I'm like, my son want to be best friends with her son, but whole time she's like secretly like she needs help. She's like
Wanting the
cutting her.
son, wanting your son.
Hmm?
I said she's
What you say?
secretly wanting your son.
No, oh girl, no, girl, no.
Oh,
This would be a whole different story. I'd be visiting you from a whole different place. No, no,
oh,
baby.
you will be talking from jail. I forgot who I'm talking to.
Right.
Everybody look like check my city. They know who I am. You feel me? They know who I am. Don't get this confused, because
Right.
yeah, don't get it. But they know who I am out there. She ain't playing. She will. Anyway, we're gonna move on. Girl, got my hands sweaty. But then, no, she just was a little loony. Like she had been abused, obviously. Like on one of our walks one day, she told me that she had been abused. And so just several of the things that she did, I was like, this bitch is loony. Like she needed help. The things
Needed
she
some
would
help.
do, like because I felt because okay. So one of the things was because I felt like she had been traumatized, she allowed her husband to consistently cheat on her to the point where he's sleeping around while she's giving birth. You know what I'm saying? But on the outside looking in, they have a beautiful home. They both have beautiful jobs. They live in the suburbs. You think a lot of times people think you live in the suburbs, you talk nice, you whatever, like
Nah.
nothing has ever happened to you. And that is not the case. That is not the case. But people just assume those
Yeah,
types
they
of
do.
things. But she was clearly traumatized. Another thing is she was so heavy in the church. And I was just like, okay, whatever, right? That's not how I am, but to each his own. when she spoke to me about her daughter and her daughter expressing like hanging out with this girl, and she was like, I just don't want her to be gay. I don't want her to be gay. I don't want to be gay. Well, she had been, molested by a woman before, and then
Mm-hmm.
she had done things to women. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying? So I
It's
was
a
like, just
stigma.
because your daughter, like, even if she is, just move on. Like, I don't understand the issue. She's
Yeah.
like, well, I don't want the girl talking to
Like
my daughter about
at
kissing other
at
girls.
10
I
years
say, kiss a
old, I
girl,
was
kiss a boy.
molested by a woman.
Mm.
It
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, you
Well,
can know, like, so my point is the mask, right? The
yeah.
the illusion of, oh, you have this nice house and you go to church and she didn't do anything to my kid, but things had been done to her. And then her
Yeah.
beliefs about like other people's kids, you know what I'm saying? Of
Yeah.
which she didn't say to them. The whole time people are believing like she likes to take my kid to the beach and the park. But she's like, I really don't want this little girl to talk to my little girl because she talks about gay stuff. Like, you're like, what? Because she had her own issue that she needed to
Hmm.
go seek out therapy for. And so that's what I'm saying. She had
Yeah.
issues. She needed to seek out therapy, and she was taking it out on people in different ways.
Yeah.
She wasn't
We will.
abusing, but she was letting
Mhm.
herself continue to be abused by her husband mentally, you know what I'm saying? Emotionally.
Mhm.
And then she was then projecting that onto everybody
Yeah.
else,
It's
but then
like doing little
masking it.
seeds
Like,
of doubt and little seeds of hate, and you spewing it out. If you don't get
Mhm.
help, that's how I look at it. If you get help, you
yeah,
just spewing,
yeah,
just fire, and you
I mean,
dropping
it
little
was her protective
fireballs.
mechanism. That's probably all she knew.
Yeah. That's all she
It
probably
was
right.
a
know.
way to,
Because she needed
to
help.
cloak herself and protect herself.
Yeah. Definitely
But I
defense.
like that she was spewing it out. But yeah, people do that. So that goes back to like what you were saying about the mental health aspect and everything, and you figuring out that you needed help. But you say other people kind of pointed that out to you
Yeah,
that
well,
you needed help.
my family, my intimate family,
Mhm.
and even my close friends, they had noticed. I just started losing weight. I just started being in a dark place from my personality, from who I really am. It was such a major change that people
Mhm.
noticed because I'm usually a bubbly, happy go person. I'm always, life of the party, and I've turned into this real dark person. And a lot of people were
Mhm.
kind of concerned, and I really wasn't sure what it was. What it was, I just, like I said, thought it was life until I really started going through stuff, and I just said okay. And my mother used to tell me, she used to say, Erica, if everybody telling you the same thing, they not lying on you. And so different people,
Hey.
telling me, you might want to, so and I took heed, and I'm so happy I did. And it was a big step because as Black women, Black independent women, it's hard for us to ask for help.
Mhm.
I'm for one a very prideful person. Didn't know I was until I started this organization and trying to reach out for help. And I'm don't but the pride gets in the way. So I stepped out and
You know
got the
I
help that I
mean,
needed.
the women in my family, we was always taught that, like, if the man leave, we supposed to be able to hold down everything, honey. Like,
Yeah,
we don't need no man, but a
yeah.
man
That's
is
how I
is,
was
is
raised too.
just extra. You know what I'm saying? So with my family, it was always the women bear the brunt of
Yeah,
paying the bills, looking out for everything, being protective of the family,
yeah.
being
I
pretty
hate
much
that.
being groomed that you
Girl,
don't need a
literally.
man.
Yeah.
When I feel like, as in the way
I
I
hate that.
like to do things, I feel like I do need a partner.
I need, yeah, thank you.
Right.
So
I
I don't
do.
hate that so much because first of all, I don't need a man. I can do something, but do I want one? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I don't want to have to do everything,
I
okay?
feel like
And let's be
You wanna
real.
play your position. You wanna lay, and especially as independent,
This
strong
look
women, you wanna play
so
you
bad,
can be soft and vulnerable.
so
Sometimes
bad,
we got
girl,
it. Just know we
so
can put the
bad.
cape on and we can fly. We ain't got to prove that to nobody. We can do it. We know we can do it, and they know we can do it. But sometimes I
Right.
want to take the cape off, fold it up, and put my negligee on and be
And
soft.
pass it to you, sir. And pass it to you. Take this cape off, hold it up. Yes,
But
and pass
see,
it to you.
I get in arguments all the time because I tell women I feel like that's not the divine order of things. I feel like, you know, you need that helpmate, I
Can't even
feel.
see you.
But
Get in the
that's a
frame.
whole nother conversation. I ain't gonna get into that.
Niecy, get in the frame. What were you saying? Thank you. Okay, what
I'm
were you
in the
saying?
frame.
Now you are. Go
I
ahead. When you
said
were
that
talking,
I feel like the divine order of things, you need a helpmate. Um, I just
yeah,
do. I don't feel like my life will be over if I didn't have a man type thing,
Right.
but I do feel
yeah,
like it I know for me,
it's,
if I had to
it's extra
raise my
seasoning.
kids by myself, they wouldn't be
Oh
as
no,
well
hold up,
rounded as they are because I knew that I was
hold up
loopy.
now,
I kind of
hold
crazy.
hold up, hold up. That's I don't think about that. I don't think so. Well, me personally, I'll say that I raised my kids by myself because I was married or whatever, and that was done when it was done. But for the most part, well, maybe like half their life or whatever,
I
like I raised
I
my
look
kids.
at single black mothers with so
And I
much
raised them very
admiration
well. By the way,
because
hold up. I'm gonna get this one out. I got a software developer and a son that I paid for his tuition by myself
That's
in
right.
college, and he gonna be a doctor. So
That's right.
and
I
and
did
and
that by
like I
myself.
That's
said,
right,
I look
Queen.
at y'all
That's
and
right,
with so
Queen.
much
That's right.
admiration and give you pats on the
That's right.
back
Huh?
because if I, I had to, my kids had two dads and they got everything they wanted. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like
I'm
I
one
don't know
person.
how y'all be doing it by yourself.
Right.
Oh,
Cause I
it's
I, I
oh, it's.
just
I told my kids it's a rough one because I told my kids. I mean, there's been a couple of times, just a very few times, but there was a couple of times that I told my kids. I was like, while I'm over here, like I love you. You're the best. You're doing such a great job. All that stuff, right? Making them the best and giving them all good
Right.
caring.
All
I
the
said,
encouragement. Yes.
I don't have nobody that does that for me. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes that hurts because
Yeah.
your kids, they get all the love and they're
Yes.
like, oh, thanks, mom, but they don't know that they should give it
Yes.
back,
Yes.
or
And they
when,
expect it. They don't.
they
They
don't,
don't. They don't care about what you went through either. They just expect it. My
oh,
son, he
baby.
quick to say, "Mom, it ain't 1992. That's the old days." If people don't do things like that, it's so funny because it's really not that old, But
Yeah.
just their mentality and the way they think, because they don't think
Mm-hmm.
like we think. They have no
'92
clue
Mm-hmm.
was the
the
year, baby, I
struggles that
graduated.
we went through.
The struggles.
The struggles. Oh my God. My kid, I mean, we had to walk. I mean, we literally, oh God, they just would never know. And that's a great thing that they would never know. But sometimes they need to learn how to
Sometimes,
appreciate what I went through because
sometimes I'll be like,
yeah, they don't,
maybe you should know something. Like, you need to know
yes.
something because this is not working.
You got to have some struggle though. You have to, in my opinion, you have to have some struggle in
You
order to
do.
appreciate things. You can't just give them
You
I
everything.
do.
They have
do.
to learn to
I feel
appreciate
that
it. And
way.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
yeah.
I definitely gave my kids too much.
Did
I
you?
didn't let them earn things.
Okay.
And I think I was overcompensating. You know what I
Okay.
Me
mean?
too.
And that's what we do.
Me
Um,
Yeah,
too.
and that's another
that's what we do.
psychological issue that you go through, that you overcompensate.
But what
You
else do
want your
we do?
kids
We
to
don't know
have
what else to do. But
everything
we
you
didn't
didn't
have,
have, from emotionally to monetarily.
we do the best we can.
Mhm.
Girl,
So yeah, I really did, and it took a
Like,
lot to wean them
she
kids
done lost
off.
track of the time.
But
Niecy,
they
do you
weaned
see what
now.
time it is? Niecy, do you see what time it is? Oh,
Yes, honey. We were 15 minutes over.
it's okay.
Yeah.
We'll
And
go to
I've
the
been
30
looking at
minutes.
the clock, but I just didn't want to say nothing.
I see.
The conversation
Well,
needs
we're
to have
gonna just go
flowed
to
like the conversation flowed.
yes, it's
was
so
good.
much more to talk about. I mean, we can
It
definitely talk
is.
all day along about and just vibe and just connect and
Mm-hmm.
and just
For
feel
sure.
better. I think we're all going to feel better when we hang up. And that's the great thing about speaking to somebody who understands what you've been through. You're going to feel so much better. You know, that girl
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm talking about, as opposed to just talking to
Yeah.
somebody who just, tell me again, It to me that
Right.
You
makes
know,
a difference. I can
like
relate so much better to a
it's
person who
like
knows
the range of
exactly what's
emotions
been
that
through
I've gone through in this live alone shows what a victim goes through. I went from
it.
wanting to
Yeah.
fight at the beginning, being mad, then going back and thinking and ready to lay some hands to smiling. And that's just a range of
Yeah.
emotions that you go through
Yeah.
because it's life.
It's life.
You know what I mean?
And
So
we're
that's
gonna be
why I
okay.
didn't
And
end it
we're gonna be
because I
okay.
was like, I didn't want to end it at the point I was at because I knew that I emotionally
Yeah.
for the rest of the week I was gonna be messed up if I
Okay.
didn't end it
Yeah.
on a lighter note.
Yeah.
So that's why I
And
let it go over Miss Tink Dink.
I just, I just try to. I'm just like, what's happening? But no, I agree with you. I
yeah.
agree with you. It just Niecy, she's our time person, so that's why I'm looking like, look, I don't even got my glasses on. I can't barely see. But did that say 8?